Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Alright, welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things I want to say is brought to you by Dispose LLC. This garbage company has been doing great things, but I want you to find out for yourself. All you have to do is go to the website, type it in, pull it up, and find out who might be showing up at your place.
Okay.
It just might be me. That's right. Driving that big bad boy, trying to show you customer service to its fullest. But all I want you to do is just give us a try at Dispose LLC. All right, now that I got that out of the way, let's get back to what I've really been rocking with. This person been rocking with me for going on 5 years, September 17th. Craftmatic, how you doing tonight, big baby?
Been doing good, Smooth J.
You still
Doing
got
good.
that smile now.
Yeah, man. You know, but that's my
Day
guiding
in,
light.
day out, partner.
That's my guiding light, man.
Man,
You know?
that's powerful.
Yeah.
Going on 5 years and you constantly smiling, cheesing.
Yeah.
You can't fake that, bro.
Yeah, you know that some people just live life from a happy perspective, and I try, bruh. You know, I try hard. It ain't always easy, but I try, man. Listen, and you do as well, man. You always a cheerful
I
person.
can't lie to you now. I'll be first to tell you now. I have some problems. I get my feelings.
We all got some of them.
You know, but
yeah.
you know, overall, I try to stay more positive. But I will say, I have to control my feelings as much as I be talking about other people. And
Yes.
I try to inspire somebody. I know sometimes I get emotional. I get in mine, and I always notice when I get into my feelings, I don't always act appropriately. So I really feel like I have to restrain and not do that.
Yes.
And that way I stay more factual.
Absolutely.
And I think that right there helps me out a lot. And then some people say I'm being more cold.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is not being cold. I don't want you to be misunderstood or not understanding me.
Right.
And a lot of times when you get in your feelings, they be like, okay, you bitching. And I don't like to be bitched at.
Yeah.
So I like to make sure I'm being more informative.
Yeah.
I'm giving you the straight facts. Sometimes it's cold straight, but you can't talk about, well, you didn't give it to me, you know, like such and such. I'm not such and such. I'm gonna give it to you like I feel like you should have it. Straight,
Yeah.
direct, and you don't have to marinate over it.
So there's no question.
The best way to do it.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
I don't like anything else.
Absolutely. Listen, a great way to introduce our show. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth J.
Over here.
And of course, we are here to liberate your minds and souls with a great dialogue. We're going to have a great conversation here tonight. We hope that you can chime in from your seat, wherever you are, whenever you happen to be looking at this show, and participate. Decide what you would do, how you would handle it. How does our opinions and our stories affect you? Make some clear decisions about how you're going to handle these particular situations that we're talking about tonight, so that when you get to the situation in your life, and if you're looking for love, you will most certainly get to that situation, that you'll have a brick wall of confidence and knowledge about how you're going to deal with it. So we thank you for being here tonight so much, and we always start the show off with a prayer. You know, Jay, did you want to get in?
No, man, I want to keep on giving it to them because, you know, I'm still over here trying to get them to go ahead and bless us with the cash app.
Yeah.
Because you be getting that thing in.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stick it over here. You handle it over there. Go
Okay.
ahead and give it to me.
Okay. So I asked the question tonight, you know, prayer topic, and the word patience comes up. Patience means that I might just make a mistake if I move too fast. Patience means that I might be upset until my goal arrives. I might be frustrated a little bit. I'm impatient. And that impatience can be on the inside, and it will demonstrate on the outside. It'll cause you to do things that you shouldn't do.
Right.
And so I'm just wanting to speak to the Lord on that tonight as we open this show. Heavenly Father, we come into your presence just thanking you for your awesome power and your love and your strength and your guidance in our lives. You offer everything that we need, and we just thank you tonight. We ask, Heavenly Father, that you would open our minds and hearts to a greater understanding and a greater idea of patience. We're asking, Father, that you would give us a spirit to hold up and not make a move right now. That we should sit tight, Heavenly Father, and listen to what you would have us to do. You might just be inspiring us and filling us at this very moment. It's not time to take a step. It's not a season to take action. It's a season to meditate. And we just ask, Father, that you would give us the ability to receive your anointing, to wait on you, Heavenly Father, that we shall express loving kindness instead of anger and trouble. We ask, Father, that peacefulness fill our spirit as we await. Give us a divine anointing to hear your voice and to wait on your call. Speak to us, Heavenly Father. Tell us your desires. Give us the right way. Let there be no distractions. Let there be no upset. Let there be no frustrations. Let there be no weariness. Let us just be centered in peace and love and understanding, Heavenly Father. Fill us with the patience and the peace that surpasseth all understanding. We ask, Father, that you would be here tonight to anoint this show, speak your word and your wisdom. We trust you, and we allow you to do your good and perfect work. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Woo.
Amen.
Right. Woo. Okay, Deacon. Deacon Craft over there.
Boy, that was there, man. I was there.
Oh, yeah. We all felt that.
Yeah.
Just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah, man. He's so good, man. He's so good, bro. You know?
And to all the ones who want to get that offer, this bar talk with Jay.
Y'all,
We can do that cash out.
excuse me tonight. And that's what makes this show so real, man, is that we're just real, you know? And, boy, that was good. That was good. Let's go ahead and move on to last week's topic. Man, we had a great show last week. It was a eye-opening show in many ways. Last week's topic was, why do people think that since we had sex, we are a couple?
I think some people was already thinking that, and then some people don't think that at all. And if the sex wasn't good, they ain't even considering it. So it's a lot of different factors when it comes to that. I mean, some people are quick to get in their feelings because they feel like when they open themselves up, it's for that sacredness, but it's innocent conversation, because you can be doing that and somebody else not be thinking that at all.
Right.
And then that's where and a lot of people say, well, you should automatically just know. I feel like in today's time, everything should be talked about, even beforehand. You know, and that way it's no real confusion. So it's not to throw daggers and try to say women are more emotional than men. Either one can get in their feelings.
Yes.
And a lot of men sometimes get the wrong impression because they keep coming back and they like, yo, I must be putting it down. She really into me. And it's just a scratch. You just was available. So the minute she finds something else, she's moved on. And you sat there looking like, yo, I was trying to do dinner and I'm like, no, I just call you when I need that.
I just want to get knocked down.
Yeah, now you looking crazy in your feelings now.
Right.
So now you got name calling and everything that's not necessary.
But listen, the bottom line, man, is that sex turns on this emotional energy that we just can't stop, right? I mention it all the time. Music Soul Child has this song where he says that somebody is going to get hurt. And no matter what, if you got feelings involved, somebody is going to end up hurt. And, you know, there are people who, I'll just say it this way, the way I wrote my notes. There are people who you just can't connect with.
Right.
It may be moments of heat and passion and you had sex, but if you're not connected with that person, it's not going to create a relationship. You're not going to be happy, you're not going to be healthy, you're not going to, you know, keep moving on. And I think we spend a lot of time talking about really assessing the people. You know, we did a couple of shows ago. We were talking about, you know, why people come back. You know,
yeah, I remember.
You know, why people come back? Was it for the sex, or was it for, you know, because of the vibe, or, you know, what did they come back? You almost never know. But, you know, the point here is that you have to assess the people who you are around and who you are with.
Right.
And there, yes, you know, women in general pretty much feel like a lot of women, not all of them. There's a lot of women who don't feel this way, but a lot of women say, hey, you know, if we having sex, then we kind of connected and we need to be going together. And, you know, that's what I need from you right now. Now, you can, you know, reject. It sounded like you did, Jay. As I listened to the show last week, I was like, Jay was kind of cold. You know, you just finished having sex. She mentioned that, you know, man, you know, hey, you can't be having sex with nobody else like that. You know, I need you to, you know, I need us to, like, you know, just be exclusive. So you sounded like you was like, nah, I'm sorry, I'm not going to.
I mean, I already had that conversation before it ever happened, so I don't really feel like I'm being really cold.
You always have had the conversation before.
I normally, yes. When I say normally, it's if just in case something jumped off, it's pretty much being said though, because I already know my expectations.
I'm not interested in a relationship.
Just like she sometimes give me her expectation.
Okay.
And a lot of time it comes up because she give me her expectation, and I know I'm not fitting that mold.
Okay.
So I have no problem letting her know, and I don't mind if the fact that it go cold.
Right.
So that's where a lot of people feel like they want to lie. Because
Right.
they want it. What do you want when you already know it might not even be what you're thinking? You're guessing. My whole thing is, I'd rather go factual. She step away, it's off of that basis, not just off the fact that how it was. I already feel like my skill level. I know what my meat do. So why in the world would I just bring somebody in to get caught up where I already know that right there with how you talking is already gonna cause a problem? I feel like I got ownership over that. And a lot of times you be like, yeah, I just want to do it anyway. I feel like that's cold.
Yeah.
That's more cold than being more upfront. Because you're leading.
Yeah.
You already know what she said. You didn't say nothing. Then she get it. She get the beat. She loving it. And all of a sudden now she stuck. And you saying she crazy. You made her that way. You brought the crazy out because she wants you in a way that it makes her crazy. So that's why I got people at Grady right now. I do apologize for some of the ones that I've done.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know what Grady is our local hospital.
Yeah. I mean, just trying to tell you what
Been
happened.
around. He suggested that he make such good love to him. He sent him to the local hospital, and so
Ain't no suggestion. You could go read the writings on the wall. I might have to sign a waiver.
You're not gonna down like that, huh, Jay?
Hey, I'm just trying to, I'm giving people a chance, bro.
Let me ask you this question, Jay. Have you ever saved a woman by not introducing her, not having sex with her, because you knew how she was gonna act a fool, you knew she was gonna clench on?
Several. And it wasn't about clinch. They said what they wanted. They told me that they had low body counts. They was not into all that. They wanted to be in a monogamous relationship. And when they said all these things to me, I actually listened and I did not pursue.
Okay.
We became friends. We're
Yes.
friends this very day. Great friendship. Sex was never involved. And that's what I'm saying by listening to somebody. I think it can make great friends when you thought it could be sexual. Because I looked at them in a way that I liked them sexually. I was turned on. But when they was telling me what they wanted, they was precise. The conversation was always that direction. So I felt like, at this point, let me step back instead of trying to act like I want to be the person that she's telling me to be. How about I just be me without that?
Okay.
And it became a great friendship.
I love it. Listen, folks, it was a fantastic show. We would love for you to go back and check it out. We are all over the internet, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio.
Yes.
We've got Amazon in the house right now serving us real big. All of our content are on just about all of these platforms. And if you like talk radio, you will love Bar Talk with Jay, because we just chop it up over some great subjects and give you an opportunity to, open your mindset and just hear a new perspective, In most of life, people are really living alone, and they don't have an opportunity to hear other people's stories, examples, and really sometimes even bring up some of these great subjects that we talk about. But they're all real. We hope you're enjoying it. Like, subscribe. Share it with all your friends and family, and continue to participate right here with Bar Talk with Jay. Now for our quote for tonight, I'll do this quickly, and Jay, just expound for us a little bit. It goes like this: learn how to develop and love yourself first, before trying to let someone in your domain that will try to destroy your destiny.
Very powerful, profound. And I'm going to tell you why. It's easy for you to follow somebody if you don't got love for yourself, because at that point you don't know when to break off. If you know you destined for greatness and you know a path that he has for you, you ain't going to let somebody else take it from you. But when you don't know that and you don't allow that to fester and come out of you, you will follow what you don't know compared to what you are confused with. Because a lot of times you got to know how to understand that. It comes out in different ways. Your passion, your love, your creative drawing or creating, but you're scared of it. You don't know how successful it can make you. You got to get past your fear, and that's your self-love, to realize it is my greatness. Somebody might not see it, but that's what it is. You're going to harness in on your self-power. Somebody else is going to feed you. They're going to feed you bull. They're going to feed you them. You got to have you, and then that way y'all can work with each other, and then you'll know who's for you. You'll understand that Ruth and Boaz type situation more so than somebody saying it. You'll understand and you'll feel it.
Jay, every time I hear dialogue like what you just shared, what I always think to myself is, well, we got to teach people to do that. You talk about self-love. Most people don't really understand what that means, that really is one of the most profound ideas.
Stop being scared to be by yourself.
Okay.
The number one thing that most people want to do is scared to be by yourself. I don't want to be out of a relationship. I want to be in a relationship because I don't want to be lonely. Yeah. I don't want to die alone. you're manifesting negativity.
Yeah.
When you don't understand, that's when he speaks to
But
you.
listen, here's the real problem, and we won't psychoanalyze it too much.
Okay.
The real problem is that I don't necessarily want to be alone, but I don't really like the person who's sitting here when I'm by myself. And I don't know what's caused all of that, where all of that came from, but I'm sitting here like I'm really not feeling too good about myself right now. You know, much less trying to achieve greatness in the world. And so that self-love idea needs to be taught. One of the ways can be, hey, like you just said, you know, stop being afraid to be alone. But you know, we really haven't learned how to face ourselves. Nobody's ever taught us those windows that we can look through to see who we really are.
I'm gonna tell you one of the strongest one, Minecraft. If you go to Minecraft, you will be able to see that a lot of times your fear can be understood when you start listening to other things.
Yes.
And that right there will break that mind trend of going
Yes.
back to the negative and get back to the positive.
Yeah, I do a lot of great work, in my opinion, on developing self-love and developing the self. It's about strengthening the self. That's what life is all about. So, and we're going to talk a lot more about tonight. I hope you enjoyed tonight's break. We got some commercials for disposal, and we got some Minecraft clips. You're going to love it. Tonight's topic is, can a broken woman ever truly love and trust again? Even a good man.
We got to bring some help in on that
Let's
one.
spend some time talking about tonight. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this.
All right, y'all. Welcome back with Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back.
Special guest just came back into the building. If y'all didn't know, Kenya Sheets is in the building.
My way, Kate. What's up, Bar Talk with Jay?
What's happening?
Girl.
So smooth, girl. So smooth.
We're so happy to have
Listen, we are glad to have you because, again, one of the things we greatly miss in our show is a woman's perspective. And we get Kenya in the house, and I consider Kenya a level-headed woman. You know, and that's what we need, you know. We done had some folks on the show who go extreme. And I don't think we got a real good perspective. So we thank you for being here with us tonight, Kenya. Okay, let's get it started. Tonight, we are talking about, can a broken woman ever truly love and trust again? Even a good man. Watch this.
Okay.
Can a broken man ever truly love and trust again? Even a good woman. Where do you want to start, Jay?
I'm going to start with the woman one first. That's what you asked. I can't think like a woman. I ain't going to play games, okay? I'm just going to go by past experience. One of the things I can tell you, a broken person that don't even know they're broken and don't know what all happened and holding on and harvesting the pain is going to be very difficult to move on.
Yes.
All right? And I don't care about how good you are. A good man, a broken man, it doesn't matter. A broken man will already know how to exploit you because you're going to show it. So them the ones you want to watch out for. A good person might not want to stay with you because of all the things you might be putting them through. So there's a lot of dynamics when it comes to that. And that's why when you run across that, you're not quick to jump into it.
Right.
You got to be patient.
Right.
That's where patience prevails when it comes to something like that. But please understand, you cannot fix a person that's not willing to accept the things that they went through. So you can be sitting there talking about how they can uplift and do this. If they don't want to get past that pain, they ain't hearing you. And I don't want to say you're just wasting your time because that person ain't a waste of time. They're just not receiving you at that moment.
Right.
I can't tell you to give up, but I can tell you to be patient. Because when they want to receive it and they need it, I need you to encourage them and give it to them.
Yeah.
But it might not be what you want to because you see they hurt. They don't see what you see. They're in pain. Their pain is blocking a lot of receptors that normally would pick up on what you're saying. They ain't.
Yeah.
And you got to be wise about that.
And I'm going to tell you the first thing that you said there, Jay, and you always say such profound stuff. You said they don't know that they're broken.
Correct.
And, you know, how often have we engaged in relationships with people who are showing us things? They were clearly showing us things through their behavior and through their words and through their attitudes and messages. They were showing us that they had some brokenness from previous relationships. and but they weren't aware of it. And again, you can't. You said it just perfect. You can't fix people. You can't change people until they know they want to be changed and they're ready to be changed. But that change will never come in those folks until they wake up to their foe, until they wake up unto their fault. You know, very seldom in life is there something so inspiring that it will change you. Right? Typically, the change has to come from within. The change is not going to come from the outside. It's got to come from within. I know. You know, there are people who, for example, it's just a light example. There are people who just plainly talk too much, and they've been told that all their life. Right? They've been, you know, when you say it to them, it's a tape they'll play of 100 people who said that to them, but they still popping off at the mouth, and they still will not come under the direction of what we call normal communication, and rather than being, popping off at the mouth. They just can't see it for themselves. They just can't get out of their own way. Right? And typically they will not change until they experience enough pain. They have to have enough rejection before they say, hey, this just isn't working. Let me keep my mouth shut. And they'll be able at some point to look over their shoulder and say, I ruined this relationship, I messed up this relationship, they said this about me. They'll gather it up, but it typically isn't until later in life, and sometimes too late. They burned too many bridges and blown too many opportunities with the mouth. But they still didn't know.
No.
Right? And so you're not going to be able to change that. And so let's just say you met this person and you met them in a nice, engaging format, and then next thing you know, y'all start to talk and you start to realize that they pop off at the mouth all the time. That's just what they do.
Right.
What do? Probably don't stay there, right? Or you probably decide that, hey, I'm only going to go so far with this person because I know I couldn't live with that. Right? That's not something that you're
ruining my peace.
Yeah, exactly right. But yeah, they don't know they're broken, and so the question we're talking about tonight is: can a broken woman ever truly love and trust again, even a good man? They most certainly can't if they don't know that they're broken. But there's three answers to this question, and I think we're going to spend the rest of this show talking about it. There's yes, no, and a maybe / if. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If the circumstances are right, then she most certainly can trust again. She most certainly can open her heart again. She most certainly can see that a man can be faithful and pure and whole and trustworthy and somebody she can lean on, and somebody she can open up to, somebody she can share her pain with, somebody she can laugh with, somebody that there's once that doorway is open for a woman to even begin to trust and love again, so much pent up love will just pour out of her, and it I would imagine in such cases it might be easy for her to really fall in love into a deep love very early in the game, once that floodgates open, once you make her feel like she's whole and complete being with a man, then she very well might just open the floodgates, and that's a wonderful place to be, man. That's a wonderful place to be. If you have had love and you lost it, or you've been without it and you haven't had it for a long time, and you find it again and you think it's real, true, and genuine, that is a fantastic place to be, right? Because you think about it, every relationship under the sun, and we know that more than half of them fail, are all looking for love. And if you find it, even only a glimpse of it, it's a wonderful thing, is it not?
Yes.
It sounds like you might doubt that, Jay.
I gotta give it, because that's one of your most vulnerable moments when you really in love. So
yeah,
when you get into it, you ain't gonna be quick just to announce it, because you also know it comes with a lot of responsibilities.
Yes.
And by you giving so much of you, some hurt can come back, but normally the love overshadows, because it's a learning process when you with that person that's trying to love you back. And when that hurt keeps happening, that's when you tend to push more away. And that's why some people can and cannot. It depends on what they've been hurt with and how they face it and how they gonna deal with it.
So you're suggesting that some people can't?
They can't when they hold on to a lot of the pain. When they feel like that person robbed me of me. When they take that hurt that deep, I mean, it gets to be so shallow where they look like taking their own life over what a person did. And it gets to be very serious. So you look like they had it because this person have moved on, but they are so damaged that they don't even know the wreck that just happened. They didn't see it. And that's the most scariest thing when you open yourself up. To that person, she wasn't that open. It wasn't that serious. But to them, you was my world. And you just walked away from it. Now you feel deserted. Now, you if you don't have God, you don't have a strong foundation, it just rocked your whole core, your whole base. So why would I let somebody else do me like that? I'm going to build up a defense and ain't nobody ever going to hurt me again. Now it's more of an evil intent than a healthy.
Can you ever have a good relationship with somebody with a spirit that says nobody's ever going to hurt me again?
Very difficult, and I'm not gonna lie to you. You can break through only when they allow it.
Yeah.
Because normally not.
Yeah.
It's a fight.
Let's hear from Kitty. What's your take on it?
I just wanted to hear y'all speak about what we as women can do when we broken. So that was very interesting.
Okay.
So what I do like is what Jay said earlier is about self-love. And I said that to somebody yesterday, and my answer was you have to be isolated. And you're right. You have to be alone, but you can't be afraid to be alone. And a lot of times we are running away from ourselves because we now have to take accountability for our own actions, right? And again, like I've said before, your inner me can be your enemy. So when you don't know how to be by yourself and you're always depending on someone else to be there, you're not really getting the trueness of your vulnerability because it's still like someone else. You could probably have a yes person in your life that's always telling you like you're not wrong, like versus when you sit by yourself and let God speak to you, and that conviction starts stirring up in your spirit, and you're able to cry, you're able to just give a release. But to answer the question, can a broken woman love again? The answer is yes, and that can only be because when you're broken, and depending on who, which I did ask was, can a strong man get a broken woman to love again? So it depends on who she's loving again, or who, you know what I'm saying, who is her partner that can nourish her soul, that can help to guide her and show her an example of a real man or real love, or what it's like to be in a genuine relationship. We're not always dating the right people, and that's probably why we're broken in the first place.
But, and that's so true. The reality is it's so hard. Most people ain't for you, so it's really gonna be a small window.
But that's because people are dating for sex. We're not dating like if you bring up the Hawks, they have a team. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? There's a bond, there's a connection, there's likeness, there's interest, there's shared, mutuality of common interest in things. So when you're not dating your partner or your friend, that's someone that got your back. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that has your best interest at heart, somebody who's looking out for you, then you're not gonna always be in the best relationship. I feel like, as a partner, it's like if I drop something, you should be there to pick it up. Like we should just have each other back. Like that's like something that should be sacred. But a lot of times we're not dating our friends, we're dating our feelings. And I mean, and our feelings can always lead us in these, relationships that we're not supposed to be in because we felt like this in a moment. But like Jay said, we're not assessing, or Craft, we're not assessing who we're dating. Yeah. And so when you get to know these people and their capabilities, then you can, and your worth, then you're able to discern, can this person handle me? Can this person steer me in the right direction? And then the other answer to that question is, yes, a broken woman can love again, but hurt people hurt people. So now it's like she's in another relationship. She knows she's broken at this point, but she's afraid to be alone. So she's carrying the baggage and away from every relationship into the next until she realizes it can't be me. I mean, it can't be them. It has to be me.
Right. And what does she do when she get to that point?
At that point, you don't want to be around nobody.
Yep.
At that point, you are over relationships because they don't work. Like, you're the common denominator, you know. And then at that same point, where I was struggling with was I was healing, but because I wasn't whole. It's different from being healing, because we're healing to be whole.
Yes.
So I was healing, I wasn't whole. So, but at the same time, I guess I didn't learn my lesson because I started dating the same person but in a different body.
Mm-hmm. That happens a lot.
And that's because either you're not over them, or still something that you need, again, a lesson that you need to learn. But at that point, I had to figure out for myself, what is it about me that I'm attracting these men or these boys? And so now, when I date, I want the guy to like me more than I like him, because my type ain't right. So it's like, at this point, it needs to be the opposite of what I'm used to.
That's so powerful. How we doing on time, boo? Got 2 minutes? Okay. Why? Attracting different people. That's, you know, man, you got so much here. Hurt people. And friends versus feelings, you know. You got to get to know them, you know, and that means it takes time. And, you know, it kind of sounds like we're drifting kind of all over the place, but every comment here is making a difference to the overall subject here. You know, can a broken woman, can a broken person ever truly love and trust again, even a good man? And I think Kenya put it just perfect that, you know, a strong man can certainly bring back a broken spirit. A strong woman can certainly bring back a strong man. And, you know, a strong woman can bring back a man who's broken. And, you know, we all will have those times where we are broken. We will all go through the episode of a broken heart. And you know, we might keep blaming the outer world. I think Kenya said it perfectly, that we ultimately need to be pointing the finger back at ourselves. So what a great segment of dialogue. And I want you folks to stay with us. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this.
See the same negative outcomes with the same behavior.
Okay. So, in other words, we see the pattern of
Right.
attracting the same kinds of people.
People and situations.
Okay? And I'm a big believer that if I see something happening over and over and over again, somehow I'm manifesting it. Right? And I've taken that much ownership in my life, and so I keep attracting the same kind of people, right? Keep making the same types of mistakes, the same types of errors. I even notice it in my business. You know, I'll keep attracting the same types of customers, and I'll keep running into the same types. And I'm like, Stacey, you got to reach for people who are, you know, more ready to buy a car. You got to reach for people who are looking for a car. You know, you got to really move toward that direction. So, sometimes, you know, we can assess that we are hurt by looking at our outer world. Is there anything that we might experience on the inside that might tell us that we are broken? On the inside.
Loneliness.
We're getting deep. Okay?
I can say
Loneliness is good.
loneliness, but on the inside, I think it's just guilt. Like, just blaming yourself, condemning yourself.
Okay.
Like, I'm like very strict with myself. Like, I feel like I discipline myself because I don't want to feel this way again. So it's like I need to like feel it and know that it hurts to say that this is hot and I don't need to touch it no more. Like, I don't need to do that anymore. And so I think it's really like being a victim. Like, just stop being a victim. Stop thinking that it's everyone else's fault for, you know, why I'm going through this.
Yep.
And like I write in 100 sheets, it's like acknowledge the role that you played in the situation.
That's good.
Because we're always like, but he did this, but she did that. But it's like, but what role? And if that means you didn't speak up, you didn't share your feelings when you should have, that's still your fault. Because that was an opportunity, and at that point you're being a coward about how you feel.
Yes.
And I think because we're afraid of rejection and somebody not, me trying to share my feelings with Jay, but I want to refrain for that because I'm afraid if he just, just gonna, throw it under the bus, like he's not gonna be interested. And so it's like speak our minds, no matter what, but also to just be honest with ourselves.
That's so
And
important.
She gave some serious key factors.
Oh man, and I want to regurgitate them because that's what this show is about. This is I want to share those again because I took notes, good notes, and let's just marinate on each one of those. Right. The first thing she said was loneliness. If you're experiencing loneliness, that's a self-love issue. That's an issue that I'm not necessarily okay with myself. I'm not okay. Now, it could be normal that, hey, I just long for a relationship. I long for some. So there's always been somebody in my life. I just kind of long to have somebody in my life, somebody to talk to and just, send text with and go out with, et cetera, et cetera. But if it's a pure, true feeling of loneliness, there may be some brokenness going on there. Okay, self-guilt. You're guilty about what happened in the past, and let's not leave out the fact that you might have been the reason the past didn't work.
That's true.
You might have been the very reason that, you're feeling guilt because you screwed it up. And you're having to deal with what you did. And the other person might not know what you did. But you know that the truth is always going to prevail. And what should happen will always happen, and you get what you deserve. And so now you're sitting around feeling guilty about what you did. And the only thing I can say to that is, the Lord created a pathway for us to move back into wholeness, and it's called repentance. And you don't have to repent to the world, but you do have to repent to God. God, I didn't mean to do this. I didn't mean to hurt that person. Can you please take this heaviness off me? Can you please take this feeling of guilt away from me? And I think dealing with that guilt proactively, especially with the Lord, talk to yourself if you need to, is a very important step. Condemning myself. Kenya said, I find myself condemning myself, right? I'm not a good person. I'm not good enough for them. I might not be smart enough, or
Condemning like I knew better. I shouldn't have did that.
I should have did. Okay, I love it. Yeah.
Right.
I know better than that.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, did anyway.
Yeah.
Did it anyway. That's why I'm mad.
Yeah.
How do you know you broke it?
Let me tell you, there's something to be said about being mad for what you put yourself through. There's something to be said about being upset with yourself, and I think that's part of that's a self accountability. That hey, I know better than this. I saw that mess from the very beginning. I saw it from the front door, and I stayed with them another 3 months, another year, another 5 years. I saw that shit 3-4 years ago. But yet I put myself through that. Man, I'm just not gonna. I don't know. I'm a horrible decision maker. I'm just, I don't know. I'm attracting the wrong people. Whatever, right? Condemning oneself, right? Here's another thing. I really like this comment. She says, "I just don't want to feel that way again. I just don't want to go through that no more." That's a sign that you are
growing.
You're growing. There's a mountain to climb. You know that you are not there yet, right? Because you know you are not strong enough to maybe deal with having to experience that same outcome and that same thing again. Somebody doing you wrong or whatever, right? And I tell you, one of the things I just recently learned in my prayer life was that it's kind of an emotional intelligence idea. It means emotional intelligence is my ability to understand how I'm really feeling at any given moment, right? How am I really feeling about things? And so I need to be aware of my feelings so that I can if nothing else pray over it. And so I began to recognize that in recent times that, hey, Stacy, you're really a little bit running away from some of those feelings that you had. And I remember having dark nights. Is it break time? Okay, I remember having dark nights in my troubles with my ex. And I remember saying to myself, man, Lord, can you just get this feeling out of my chest? Can you get this feeling away from me? I don't want this feeling anymore. Whatever it is, I want to come against it. What the opposite of it, the antonym, I just want to get rid of this feeling. I don't want to feel like I'm powerless. I don't want to feel like I'm always, got to fill in somebody else's gap, so to speak. You know what I mean? I don't want that feeling. And if you're feeling that way, you got to pray. And I think recognizing on the back porch that I was feeling that way and just told the Lord to get rid of that. I can't put a word to what that was I was feeling.
I feel you.
But it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good. And I'm teaching even myself in prayer that sometimes I'll think about an idea I'm about to do and I'll have this fear. Like, man, I don't want to spend that much money. They might take me. I just have all this fear. And I said, Lord, get rid of that fear. Right. Get it out of me. Take it over there. I don't want to fear. I don't want to make decisions in a fear-based consciousness. So dealing with the emotion, dealing with the very thing that you don't want to feel again, it might be a way to help you, begin to overcome some of that, so you can move on to a healthy, happy relationship. Being a victim. She said, being a victim. Right? They keep doing this to me. They keep doing this to me. They keep doing this to me. Listen, you're never going to change anything until you take control of it and until you take ownership of it. Mm-hmm. Period. Mm-hmm. If you go into your next relationship and you ain't say to yourself, you know what, I let that happen last time. I ain't going to let that happen this time.
Put your foot down.
Right. I'm going to put my foot down. Because you should have put your foot down in the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. Here's another good one. Acknowledge my role in what happened. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's kind of the same thing. Acknowledge my role. And here's another good one. Being afraid of rejection.
Of course.
That's a big one. We can sit in our living room and think about dating. And you ever been sitting been getting dressed to go out, and when you said to yourself, when I get to the club tonight, I'm gonna meet somebody. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna holler at somebody, I'm gonna talk to somebody. And then you get there and there's lots of people making eyes with you, but you don't go holler at them. And why? Because you have this fear of rejection. Right?
That, or you trying to make your move and you see they move back.
They ain't moving with you.
They ain't
don't look like that's gonna work out well.
No, they're not doing the snake with me,
Listen, I have been a closer in my life, especially in my business.
Okay.
And you got to get through 3 no's before you get to the good stuff,
Is
right?
that what happens?
Yeah, and sometimes you make them feel bad about not wanting to talk to you. Say, hey,
right.
Did I do something wrong to you? They'll be like, no, you didn't do nothing wrong. I'm like, okay, I'm just trying to meet you, just trying to get to know you. Usually that wall is a fear-based wall, especially with women. We guys know, if we go and holler at somebody, she might be a little standoffish at first, you know what I mean? She might be trying to hold a position, figure you out, make sure you ain't like the last
Buy us a drink. That's how y'all
yeah.
need to start. Hey, how you doing? You looking nice? You want a drink?
Okay.
Period.
Okay, that's one way. See, everybody's offering a drink.
Don't nobody want to hear, hey, beautiful, you look good tonight. Like, that becomes cliche.
But I think we're on a whole other subject, but you're talking about some real shit right now.
Buy a drink.
Buy a drink. And it can be water, just you ask.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. Women who are out, who like to go out, they're women who just like to go out. They like to club and party and, not necessarily party, just be at spots, hanging out. They hear that a lot. Let me buy you a drink. They hear that a lot. Everybody says that. Everybody wants to buy them a drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just common. That's old cliche, you know what I'm saying?
These dudes ain't buying no drink these days. It's crowd.
They ain't buying drink.
It's pandemic.
See, you got to move into the 40, 50-year-old bracket.
Okay,
If you move into the 40, 50-year-old bracket, they got a little sense. You know what I'm saying? They try to court you a little bit.
You say, buy me a drink. Buy me a drink. Why I got, these folks different these days.
Well, and we in the ATL, too. Let me just say that,
You don't know. It might be somebody else buying you a drink. ATL.
I don't know how we got to that note, but, we were always talking about being afraid of rejection.
That's part of it.
We ain't gonna reject no drink.
Yeah. In the end, one of the greatest things that Kenya shared with us was just to be honest with ourselves.
Yep.
And, being honest with ourselves might be one way to overcome our own insecurities in a relationship. And, everybody's not going to be for you. You're going to have to be a little more selective the next time. You're going to have to be a little more critical. You're going to have to be a little more decisive, a little more intentional.
Patience.
A little more patient. Okay. Yeah.
Get back to that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Don't rush.
Don't rush.
That's what you don't know.
Man, let me tell you, we probably need to spend some time on that not rush piece, because that's what gets us in trouble sometimes.
All
right?
the time.
Here's the nature of a relationship. You meet somebody, you start talking, and if you ain't got a whole lot going on, you just kind of be swooping and swooping and swooping, and next thing you know,
You looping.
And it's
Entanglement.
Entanglement.
Just saying. Getting it in.
right?
You looping.
Yeah. That's just the way it happens. So you got to find a way to maybe to slow that down. You know, be a little more relaxed, be a little more patient, like Kenya was talking about. You know, it's about that time, boo. Yeah. Okay. You know, patience will save you years of pain. We prayed over patience this
Yes, we
morning.
did.
But you know, sitting still for a little while, just getting a good lay of the land, understanding yourself, giving yourself time to go on a journey of a relationship. You know, if you've been single for a while, when you step into a relationship, you give up a lot of self. You give up a lot of
Boundaries.
You give up a lot of you, absolutely. And you know, in most cases, I've just come to learn that to be in a relationship, you're gonna end up giving up a lot of things, and maybe even most of what you want to be with that person.
Attention, time, and affection.
Yeah, and you know, whether you want to be hanging out with the fellas or the ladies, or you know you want to go and take classes, or you want to travel the world, and you know your significant other isn't in that mode, you're gonna have to give up that stuff in order to be in a good, healthy relationship, because you can't do both, right? So you know, it's important to think about what you give up when you go into these relationships.
It's a give take though.
Yeah, it is a give take, and we're gonna talk
She
about
ain't giving up nothing. I told you back to that slot.
yeah.
I'm going there
Yeah,
one way. I ain't
yeah.
playing.
Listen, I love the direction the show has been going. This is fantastic dialogue. I want you folks to stay tuned. We're gonna be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this. Because you know, if somebody could just hear that message and it just puts a smile on their face for another 2 or 3 times in a day, it brought some joy in their heart. You know, they opened the doorway of joy. When you smile, you know, something about it is just brightening. You know, to you. You know, it takes many more muscles to frown than it does to smile.
Only thing I can tell you, the person that's coming up next, I don't know if he's gonna be smiling or frowning, depending on how his is, how his emotions is, how he feel. It didn't rain, but he can put rain on you. So let's introduce this person this time. Hopefully he's on the line. Jeffrey, how you doing tonight, big baby?
Brother Jay, Brother Crab, how's it going, fellas?
Doing good over here.
Going well, man. It's going well. We are always glad to have you in the studio, and excited about your your commentary tonight. How are you, my friend?
Man, you know, I'm really happy about the guest y'all got on the show tonight. You know, I actually happen to know her. She's a real
Hey,
cool young lady.
You know it was coming.
Why I gotta be light skinned?
Listen, what are you about to say to us tonight? We want the tea, Jeffrey.
Man, listen, you know, I'm going to take that discrimination and say that in spite of that, my granddaughter, she still loves me. And my mom, they love me.
she's so beautiful.
My siblings, they all love me. My children, they love me. And yeah, in spite of all of that,
Yes.
you know what time it is.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions, I'll give you some answers from a man's point of view. Now, I got one reason for the habitually single woman, and I got one reason for the habitually single man as to why you might be single. But before we get into that, here is my disclaimer. Now, see, what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you, if it doesn't apply to you, and I want you to put your foot up in this shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in them, because you're about to learn something tonight. Ladies, you go first.
Okay.
All right, ladies, some of y'all are single simply because you don't understand relationship dynamics. This is what I mean. See, if something doesn't serve you, well, you decide you're going to leave. If a man approaches you, well, you decide you just can't be bothered. If a man doesn't approach you, well, he must be gay. If a man approaches you, meets you, and ghosts you, well, he was just intimidated by you. If a man approaches you, meets you, gets in a relationship with you, loves you, and then decides to leave you, well, he couldn't handle a strong, educated woman. But the fact is, you have poor relationship skills because you worked on everything like your job and your degree, but you never worked on your heart. And that's exactly why your ass is single.
Man, you must have been listening to the first half of the show.
Nah,
man.
I think he was just mad.
I know, like, who is she? And leave her alone.
You gotta understand relationship dynamics, and it all came down to her sense of self.
It goes back to self-love.
Goes back to that self, man.
So, Jeffrey, what we got to do to get that heart right?
That's a whole different topic. That's a whole show.
Okay, back to you, man.
All right, fellas, don't think I'm letting y'all off the hook. Fellas, you are next. All right, man, some of y'all are single simply because you suffer from that affliction called you used to. See, this is what I mean. See, your woman complains that when you first met her, you used to send her flowers, and you used to make an effort, or you used to bathe every day, or you used to be fit, or you used to pick up behind yourself, or you would cook her a dish or a meal every week, or you used to pay for things, or you used to express your dreams, or you had a fire and a drive. But now you've gotten soft when, in fact, she wants you to be hard. You've gotten rough when you should be tender. You've gotten cold when you used to be the source of her soul's heat and her heart's desire, all because you were never that man in the first place. So now when it comes down to it, she won't even let you say that you used to be her man. Because she left your ass single.
Hold on. Everybody let clap it. Hold on.
All right, old Jeffrey.
He done hurt some folks. There's some people sitting back right now ain't happy.
I love the used to be because that's really what it is. Like, y'all just get us and then you just stop doing what you did in the first place to get us.
Yeah, I wonder why that is.
Yeah. You need to work on your heart.
You used to help me work on my heart.
I worked on your back.
We used to sleep in the same bed.
Yeah. You used to be interested in my dreams, Heather.
Yes.
Now you ain't interested no more. You know what I'm saying?
That ain't right.
Boy, I tell you what, Jeffrey, you hit us between the eyes tonight, man. I love it. Back to you, my friend.
All right, I want to speak to the brothers and to the sisters on the institution of marriage. It is a worthy endeavor. You get so many legal protections when you are married. Yeah, you say it's a piece of paper, but guess what? When you don't have that piece of paper, you also ain't entitled to nothing. I'm ashamed to say, but DMX's common law wife was just told that she's not entitled to a dime, not one penny, even though she was with him for several years. Don't get it twisted. I believe that he loved her and she loved him. I do not think she's trying to be a gold digger. I think that she invested in that man, and rightfully so. She should be an heir to his assets. That ain't how the court sees it. The courts give more rights to an ex-wife than they give to a girlfriend. So here's my advice for you men and for you women. Men, put a ring on it. Women, go get that piece of paper, because in the end, that's the only thing that's going to protect the assets that you develop jointly. I need you to understand, in the end, that's the only thing that's going to protect the assets that you develop jointly should one of you leave this earth. And that's all I got.
Man, You know?
Did that.
Yeah, Brother Jeffrey, you talking about taking my shit, man.
I
You can't take it with you. Yeah, you can't take it with you.
I know, I got to make sure it's the right one, though. And it might take me 25 years to figure that out.
Wow.
You know?
Man, I'm with you.
Yeah, you know, woo, but that ring, you put a ring on it, get a piece of paper, boy, you put a lot of pressure on the brother. You know?
Entitlement.
But I love it. I love it. You know, I think it's a protection mechanism. You know, you gotta, if you're gonna be with somebody, you gotta be all in, and that's one of the ways to, you know, when you create that marriage, you really are in a bond. You really are in a working relationship, and the paperwork forces you to do the right thing sometimes.
Let me know it's real.
Huh?
Put a ring on.
Put a ring on it, yeah. But it's so hard to put a ring on it. I've known you for about a year, and you want me to promise forever, and I don't know enough.
You don't show forever.
Yeah, you ain't looking like
You don't even
forever.
come over all the time. You know, you ain't consistent, but you want consistency.
Yeah.
Ooh, write that one down.
Yeah. Listen, oh man, Brother Jeffrey, I'm loving your commentary. I want you to comment on our subject for tonight, and in the way that you do. It goes like this: can a broken person ever truly love and trust again, even another good person?
Well, yeah, absolutely. They can for an extremely small and short amount of time. Because what's going to happen, the fact that they are broken, they're fragments. You can't cross a broken bridge, but you can go as far as that bridge is sturdy. When you get to that broken part, that's when you can't go no more. So depending upon the level and the severity of the brokenness, yeah, that person can go right up until that point, but they can go no further. And that's where that person who's whole is going to leave that ass single, because they know that, hey, I can get more than this. My market value is worth more than this. I understand that you're broken, but I can't fix you. I got some super glue, but guess what? I had to use that to repair myself. Mm-hmm. You got some super glue, but you got it in the tube. You haven't even twisted the top off. You haven't even clipped that little nip at the point, the little tip, to let some of the super glue out. You still got it in the damn package, but you want me to sit here and try to use some of the glue that I've used to repair myself. Hell no. I'm going to need you to do the work to make yourself whole. Now, we're all growing, we're all evolving, but if you ain't opened up that packet of super glue and you ain't started gluing nothing on, I ain't got nothing for you. And that's all I got.
I love it, Brother Jeffrey. I gotta ask you a quick follow-up question, man, to those people who may be broken. How would you know, we talk about there's not enough healing going on. How does a broken person overcome being broken?
Starting. The first thing is starting. Starting is also the easiest thing, but because it's the easiest thing, it's so hard to do. Because people get comfortable in their brokenness. It becomes familiar. It becomes a lover, if you will. I understand this lover. I understand the broken pattern. I understand the risk involved in staying broken. But I don't know what's on the other side of trust. Because I might get hurt. I might also love again, but I might get hurt. And because I'm in the bed with the broken, the distrust, and the trauma, and it loves me so good and I'm so safe over here, I'm missing out on the pure bliss and the ecstasy of whole, healed love. So I'm going to play it safe, but that's the thing. You got to face it. You got to go right at it. And I don't mean go at it walking. You got to go at it running. You got to go at it determined to get your degree in healing, your master's degree in wholeness, your PhD in healthiness. And once you do that, like you did your other degrees, you're going to be all right.
Amen.
Amen. I love it, Brother
You doctored that
Jeffrey.
up.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your commentary, man. I made some great notes here. Any parting words for us, my friend?
Man, I just need everybody to understand. I understand that it might be a little scary, but in the end, if you don't have no legal papers, if your mate gets sick, the family can kick your ass out of the hospital. And that's all I got.
All right, Brother Jeffrey. We'll look to hear from you next week, man. Thank you so much.
Later.
All right, y'all take care.
All right. And folks, you have heard from the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey. He put it down, did he?
Did it. Bishop Jeffrey.
My God. We got 3 minutes. Okay.
Well, I like what he's saying, but just for the ones that's nervous about marriage, there's still some things you can do. You can add people to your will. You can also do binding contracts, especially if you got a business, to make sure people is divided out how you really want it. You know, I'm not pushing away from marriage, and I'm not telling you not to get married. I'm just trying to tell you, if you got a business and you're doing big things and you want to make sure some people are covered, you can do things without just being married. You can also write people in, and that way it's already legally binding. They will automatically get a piece of it regardless of anything else. And I'm just saying that's the direction you want to go.
Yeah.
I'm just giving options. I'm not telling people not to get married.
Yeah, and I just want to ask you about that, Jay. So you've made the decision. You love this person so much. You've made the decision that you want to give them a portion of your estate. You want to leave something behind. They're so important that you want to make sure that they are covered when you're gone. Why not marry him?
Just because I want to leave them something don't mean that I see that that's my person. I mean, don't get me wrong. I walked a nice little life right now that I can tell you I would like to leave some things, but some of the people I would want to leave it to, that's not a person I want to finish my life with. It's not meant for me just to be married to them, just to give them that gift. If I want to give them something, I don't have to feel like I have to give them a ring in a unity or a falseness, because that's not what I want. I'm going to give you what I really want to give you, not what somebody's telling me.
Okay.
I don't want to be led. I want to be a leader.
I hear that, but I want you to apply this to DMX's situation. You know, his wife,
it's a business.
You know, they've been together for years, and so you know he probably could have wrote a will or whatever. But at that point, I'm like, well, why don't you just marry her? Right? They've been together for years.
You've been together for years. If that's not what, again, he might not have been feeling like that's what he wanted.
He's been married before.
Right. And if he don't want to be married again, that's his right.
And why wouldn't
I can't say no more than that.
Why wouldn't he?
He might have been hurt, and he might have been to a place where he didn't want to enter it again. I can't speak for another man, but I can tell you, if he didn't want to, there's still provisions you can take just to ensure the person you're with.
Yeah, and you know, we only had a couple minutes for this portion of the segment, but I really am just trying to ask the question out loud. If you're willing to give a portion of your life and you're going to be with him for 13 years, why wouldn't you marry him? Right? Now, it'd be different like if the 13 years you broke up 9 times and you really only been together 6.5 years out of the 13. And, you know, I can see that. But if you're with somebody consistently for 10, 12, 13 years, why, and you're even considering writing them in your estate, why wouldn't you marry him? We're going to cover that potentially a little bit more when we get back. Y'all folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this. Welcome back.
What up, though?
Yeah, man, I love that that segment we just had, man, about integrity. You know, we all just need to step it up a little bit more, and because again, we're facing that karmic activity, and so righteousness is the only way to get through life now. And if you do bad things, I think the universe has a way of coming to get you a little faster. You know, if you're hurting people with lies and untruths, then you're going to face the karma, and you're going to face the hurt that you gave out is going to be the same hurt that you typically get back, and sometimes even more. Okay, because you not only did you deny the truth then, but you've been denying the truth the whole time up to that very moment that you receive your karmic law. You know? So let's all just open the doorway. More importantly, be honest with yourself. You know, if you know you've been the problem in relationships, be honest with yourself. If you know you caused the trouble in the last relationship, be honest with yourself. If you know you're just afraid of people getting close to you, whatever reason, something you grew up with, something you learned in your last relationship, be honest with yourself. If people being around you too much, they always want to be together, it's just crowding your personal space, be honest with yourself, right? Create the space that you need. Be honest with yourself. You don't have to do anything but be honest with yourself. And if you do that, then you're going to live a life of that's whole and pure.
I agree, but most people don't want to assess themselves. That's one of the most difficult things that they want to do because they got too much to blame. That's how you know a broken situation, because all they ever want to do is blame. They don't want to take responsibility because they see that they had some things that they did wrong. But what was blatant is what they did. And because of that, that's why I did what I did. Knowing that's not the truth, but it's easy to hide behind. Because I don't want to face, because I know I have to deal with me. I'd rather just deal with you. So it's easy for me just to cast you out and talk about you than fix me. Because I know that I probably won't do it again. But if you really didn't face it and understand it, I promise you will repeat it, because you're not understanding all what you did wrong. You're too busy blaming and hating on that other person and putting all that there in that direction. That negative energy is why it comes back to you. You never changed it. And it's hard for you to change it because you don't even want to see it. It's a defense mechanism.
Yeah, it is. And, I asked a friend of mine this question not too long ago. She has a history of her ex, basically was a cheater. He was a cheater. And she said he had not always been a cheater. And it just dawned on me one day to ask her, just to get her feedback, because she's actually a very, very beautiful person. But I asked her, why would he cheat on you?
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything that you might have done to contribute to him wanting to cheat on you?
What did she say?
She really couldn't answer. She said, I never really thought about it like that. And, she never came to an
what
answer.
can make anybody want to cheat on somebody besides being spiteful and cheating back? Like, what makes somebody want to cheat?
What would make you want to cheat?
How about I'm royally unfulfilled at home?
Well, why
about
not
you?
leave? Like,
How about you talk too much?
why not get married?
And why
I'm
would you
just
shut
saying.
up? You keep coming at them.
Yeah.
You're disrespectful. You can do things that'll not make a person cheat. I don't want to make you think anybody. That's a choice that they make, period.
Right.
But you can do things that'll make me want to not look at you the same. I'm not gonna say cheat, because that gotta be in the thought process of that person.
right.
I am saying, yes, it's going to be in the thought process of me leaving your behind. But to some people, I don't want to leave you, but I'm not going to keep putting up with this, but I'll get satisfied over here. These are choices. I can't tell you why they make all these choices.
Right.
I can only tell you what could make me feel like I don't want to tolerate your behind.
Right.
And that's your mouth, the disrespect, and the constant nagging of things that you feel like I'm not hearing, and you just keep doing it. And it feels like now I'm overwhelmed and I don't want to come home. So naturally, if I don't come home to you, not saying I have to come home to somebody else, I'm hanging out with my boys now. Because I find more peace in the street than coming home to you. Men want peace. They do not want to hear bullshit all the time. I understand it ain't all bull. Some things you really need for him to do. But to him, I fight at work. Now I got to come home and fight
What
you.
if you do bring the peace? What if you are everything and more and he still step out?
Now I can say there's a couple of things on that note. One, if he keeps stepping out.
But
I'm just
why
gonna-
is he doing it in the first place?
Well,
If he has
one, that
really-
might have been him. You might understand you got with a person that's just his behavior.
That's his thing, yeah.
So
He
you
can't.
thought he would calm down because of the things that you're giving him, and he's still doing him.
Right.
So why does he say yes to the relationship?
He might have said yes just to soothe you. It's nice to have somebody sit next to
It's
me,
nice to
but I
have somebody.
still want to do me.
Oh, that's
So
horrible.
it's horrible, but it's the truth.
Listen, I
It
think
ain't just
Jeffrey-
men either. Women do it too. What you mean it's horrible?
Yeah, my favorite
Women do
word.
it.
My favorite
We're
words
talking
came
about
from
y'all.
Jeffrey. Jeffrey said, "Anybody who cheats is just pure selfish. You can blame anything you want. You blame anybody you want. They did not honor their commitment."
That's valid for me.
And I think that's what it will always come down to. However, there are things that push people away from you. There are things that cause people not necessarily want to go out and cheat. It's not going to start with going out and cheating. It's going to start with, I'm going to stay the hell away from you today. It's going to start with, okay, I'm really
Being
feeling,
distant.
yeah, like you don't understand me, like we're really talking a different language. It's going to start with a little more distance, a little less talking. It's going to start with, some friction, some arguments, you know what I mean? You're going to see it starting to manifest. But if he decides that he's going to go out and cheat, by the time he decides that, he has been gone. He checked out a long time ago. And you may not have understood the signs, but they were most certainly all there. And I love it, Jay. You put it right. Mouth and disrespect. Men typically want peace, and I'm assuming women want peace as well. I want to go back to just for a moment the idea of self-assessment. That a lot of people want to blame others. They won't take responsibility, and in essence, they've become comfortable in their brokenness because they're running from the truth.
Correct.
And I just wanted to make that point. Running from the truth about your contribution, running from the truth about acknowledging your role, running from the truth about, condemning yourself, whatever, you really just got to find a way to grill yourself. I think we all need to put a hot iron on our backs and come to grips with who we really are and what we're really doing and what we're not really doing. Because, see, the other person ain't going to really all the time know that you are broken, but they're going to start to see flaws.
Yes, and they're going to walk away. Like Jeffrey said, it's like a bridge.
Yeah.
You strong up to a point, but where you broken at?
Where you broken at?
People going to start recognizing and you won't.
Yeah.
And they're going to start pulling away from you, and you ain't understanding why you can't finish the prize, why you can't be happy with somebody, and you stay in that broken state. Well, that's because you're not trying to self-assess.
Yeah.
You're not trying to look at all the things that's happening. You just know you got everything. I know I'm strong. I know I make good money. I know I shouldn't be treated this way. They should love me. Why do they do this? Because you don't want to assess. You want to just keep the power of knowing what you are doing great, not knowing the things that you're doing to push people away. And because of that alone, it's going to cause damage. It's going to cause you to realize that, hey, I don't want to face that. It's a fear. But I'm going to stay strong to myself and stay true to this way.
Yeah.
And I'm talking on a more of a man's side.
In
than a
denial,
woman.
basically.
It's a denial, but it's also a strength building. I'm going to build on the strength that I know compared to the stuff that I don't want to face.
Right.
I know this person walked away from me, but I don't even want to know no more that he just wasn't strong enough. And just keep it moving. Instead of saying, you know something, you're right. I wasn't there for them. I'm self-centered. I was always thinking about my job, my money, my goals, not them. And guess what? That means I have to change. People don't like change. Why can't you accept me how I am? You jacked up how you are.
Right.
And you don't want to face it, but you feel like, somebody out there for me. I got a bold ass that's going to come pick me up. And you all jacked up. But you feeling I'm fine because my money and the things I do. And I get people to do stuff for me. No, you pay people to do stuff for you. Ain't nobody willing to do nothing for you. Got a nasty ass attitude. If it wasn't for the fact you pay good, nobody want to do nothing for you. You don't want to face that.
Facts.
You don't. You rather face the fact that they do for me and you gonna do for me. Now with that kind of attitude, especially if you're a woman and I'm a man and I'm a provider, I'm not gonna take that.
I'm not going to take that.
So I'm gonna walk away like everybody else. She don't want to face it. Or he don't want to face it. You're doing all this, but you don't do nothing for her. You don't build her up. You don't give her no comfort, and you don't protect her. You leave her out there. You talk about it. Same thing. Then you wonder why no women stay with you. I don't need them. I got my money. Your money will
Can't
die
love
with you.
you.
We'll die with you. Yeah, that's exactly
and
right.
that love won't be with you.
That's exactly right. Let's turn this the corner on this conversation just a little bit here,
All right.
and we got about 10 minutes, and we're gonna take a break and try to close this show out with a bang.
Okay.
But let's say, the question for tonight is: can a broken woman ever truly love and trust again, even a good man?
Okay.
Let's say we got a husband and wife. One person gets caught cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Is that relationship over, or can the broken heart ever be wounded from the other person?
Can it be mended?
Can it be mended if the other person stepped out?
It's trust.
Okay?
I mean, trust is everything, and it's like we made a commitment when we both said I do or we said yes, we want to be into this. So I feel like communication come in like before you cheat. I mean, it might sound crazy, but that just touches based on what I spoke on it earlier. We need to be friends. We need to be able to have each other's back so we can bypass that. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's figure it out. Like, let's, meditate. Let's have a heart-to-heart and just be transparent with one another so we can avoid, those kind of things.
And I like that one, but a lot of times it doesn't happen.
Right.
So
No,
I'm
that's
gonna
true.
speak on it from it didn't happen.
Temptation.
I would only say is I can work with you more when I see that you're willing to change what you did. So in other words, if I have to find out what you did, you're not willing to face that you did, you want to deny it, then at this point I'm already got to cut ties because I'm not gonna keep wasting my time with you. You're a person that came to me and this has happened, and they said, hey, this happened, and they let me know, hey, I messed with this person. It didn't seem like we was going anywhere, and I met this person, and I gotta be honest, I messed with her. Now at this point, I felt like, you know something, there's being honest, there's being true to me, and I really felt like I was being true to them. I can work with them because they're giving me more honesty, and they didn't have to. They did it because they felt bad. They're telling me, only reason I told you, even though I really felt like, you know, you should know, is because it made me feel bad. I know that's an honorable person. Because she held herself to a point where she felt that even though we weren't in a monogamous relationship, but she felt like I still messed with this person, and I just wanted to deal with you. But since we wasn't in one, I did it, and I still feel like I cheated. Yes, I can deal with you because you're a person that's showing me loyalty, even though you didn't have to tell me, period. I didn't commit to you. I didn't do it, but not for you to go do that. But for the fact that you did it and you can still come to me and tell me, yes, I can rock with that, and it don't make me think no less of that person. It makes me think about the fact that I didn't commit to them. By me not doing that, if I want things to change, I might need to change my way of thinking, of not committing to a person, because this can happen again. If you're willing to let that keep happening, that's going to be up to you.
CJ, I concur with what you're suggesting here. You know, that is a
Now, that's not married.
That is a good person, right? That's a good thing when they come and tell you, right? But it's way after the fact, number one.
Okay.
And number two, it only is being told to you because it's killing them,
Yes.
right? And so what I resort to almost every single time is in the midst of our efforts to build something, you were making a whole nother decision. And I can't get over that. I can't get over the fact that, hey, you know what I'm saying, y'all met, 2 weeks ago, and damn, I was celebrating your birthday with you, like doing all this shit. I was like giving in, and you was making that decision on that weekend? Like, really? I appreciate you coming and telling me, but what you're suggesting to me is that I was putting in my all, and in those very moments you were stabbing me in the back.
Yeah.
And that comes first in my mind. I can give you some honor, I can give you some grace, but ultimately I can't stop
Okay,
thinking
that
about
is-
that you
Yeah.
turned on me in the middle of my pouring into you.
Now, I will tell you again, this person, and the reason why we're going to go ahead and go.
Yeah, let's take a break. Let's
Okay.
take a break. Hey, listen, we're gonna be right back. More bar talk with Jay. This is outstanding discussion. We'll be right back after this. All right.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to more Bar Talk with Jay. Just a quick note on that segment, attitude versus behavior. You cannot wait till you feel good about something to get things done. The point is you got to go get it done, regardless of how you feel. Sometimes our taxes hold us accountable, right? Got a deadline, got to get it done. Don't wait till the last minute to get it done, right? Get it done. You're not going to feel good about it, just go attack. And that's what we all need a little bit more of, to attack more of life, right? So I hope that was good. I hope that was enriching for some folks. So tonight, we're in our final segment talking about, can a broken person ever truly love and trust again? Even a good man or a good woman, can they trust again? Now, where did we leave off when we were
I
talking
was just about to go into it when I was telling you about that person that told me that they cheated. I wasn't in a monogamous relationship. So by me not being in one, when she told me this, I didn't really feel like she really cheated at all. That's why I told you I dealt with that with no problem because I didn't make that commitment. She wanted to commit. I did not. So by her feeling that way, I seen her loyalty. I felt her pain. Because she took it just like if she did it if we was and we wasn't. But her whole thing is even when she was hearing the fact that I wasn't in one way, she felt it anyway. So that's why I told you, I was able to get past that when she was telling me. We dealt with each other for a lot longer. We didn't end up being together. She ended up marrying and moving on. But she never even wanted to ever try to cheat again. She understood the pain. She understood that that ain't what she wanted. So my whole thing is, it's going to be up to you. When you already in a committed relationship, it is betrayal. And 9 times out of 10, it doesn't been happen. I do agree. But again, it's going to be what you evaluate. What all factors did you play? Most people are not going to look at any factors they play when somebody cheated. Number one thing they're going to be is they broke the trust, and it's just all their fault. Not thinking about the fact that they turned their back on that person, they didn't believe in them. You know, when they had big opening day, you wasn't there, you weren't trying to be there, you was always with your girlfriend. You was never a big factor. But then you figured this was a bigger factor because he committed to somebody else and not you when you didn't even give your all for him. I can't give you no more that's going to be up to you. I can't tell you to tolerate it, not to tolerate it. It's going to be your choice. But the brokenness is when you don't want to evaluate it. When you don't want to look at what the hell you do, but you so quick to blame everybody else, I promise you, you're going to keep attracting the same thing you've been attracting. And that's what this show is about, to break the mold. Let's quit doing the same thing we've been doing, expecting better. It's called insanity on any other level. I don't want to be insane. I want to be healthy. I want to do better. I understand I'm not perfect. And in relationship, that's what it teaches me. But when you keep doing it, it ain't teaching you nothing. You're just repeating. And I don't like us to repeat failed relationships, failed advice. We pass failed information to somebody. And I like to say that's hurt people. That's what most people tend to do when they know they ain't right.
Yeah, that's powerful. You know, for the most part in this show, we have been really talking about the idea of brokenness and being broken, you know, and sometimes we may or may not know, but, you know, I'm of the notion that there just is not enough healing going on in the world. And you may not know what your faults are, but you might believe that you need some healing. You can see that you're causing the same things over and over and over, but now, you know, you want to do something about it. And, you know, this commentary is really just for those who want to do something about it. In my mind and in my heart, I just truly believe the only person, the only entity that can fix you is God.
Amen.
You don't know what you need. You don't know. You can feel the pain that's going on inside of your body, but you don't know which muscle or which bone is broken. You don't know where the fracture exists. You don't know how it got that way. You don't know if it happened during the incident or if it happened in some other way. You just know that this brokenness is in you. It is so important that you take this particular issue to the Lord. And because He knows your faults. He knows your foes. He knows what you can handle. He knows what you can't handle. He knows what's on the other side of this pain for you. He knows what you are thinking about. He knows that you can't see far in the future. He knows that you can't make good assessments about people. He knows that you're lonely. He knows that you need comforting. He knows that all of this stuff. And so, you know, I did a segment, a Minecraft segment on trusting in a higher power. And so sometimes the best way to be healed is to just completely take a step back and say, Lord, I don't know what's going on here. But what I want is a healthy, happy, loving relationship with somebody equally yoked who's ready for what I'm ready for, you know. And I'm telling you, this dialogue is one great way to start overcoming. I'm a big proponent of that we stand in indecision because we don't have a clear enough vision to take us forward. And one of the ways that we can overcome brokenness, or one of the ways that we can overcome our unknowingness about what our problems is start getting a clear vision about what you really want. If you are broken and you have been through a hardcore relationship, tell God that was good. We appreciate all that you did for us. And I believe, Father, that there's somebody else for me. You got to have that in your heart. How are you going to attract somebody righteous for you if you don't ask for it? if you're not expecting it, if you're not calling for it, if you're not praying for it. Now I got to start reaching in the spirit for my next move. Even though I don't know what's going on. And you know, to just talk about that, not knowing what's going on, ask God to heal you. Ask God to show you what your faults are. Ask God to show you a better way to be in a relationship or to deal with the kinds of things that you do. Ask God to strengthen you in your insecurities. Ask Him to help you overcome tomorrow those things that caused you major problems yesterday. Ask Him to help you overcome your past, to give you resolution and to give you completion about your past. Ask Him to fix those things that you don't know are broken but needs to be fixed. And ask Him to guide you in the direction of your highest and greatest good. Surround you with righteous people. If you're feeling loneliness, don't let me be lonely, Lord. Help me remove the guilt, Lord. Help me to stop condemning myself, Lord. Help me get rid of this feeling. Help me get rid of this victim attitude. Help me acknowledge my role. Help me speak up for myself. Help me not be afraid of rejection. Help me, Lord, get to my promised land in the world of love.
Amen.
And you start asking the Lord for a clearly in a vision that you have for yourself. He'll bring it to life. See, all good is possible. But it ain't going to happen unless you're reaching for it. See, your greatest good might be over there. But in your own understanding, you might be reaching over here. And so now you got to say, hey, I'm going to stop leaning on my understanding and I'm going to start leaning on God's understanding. And as I do that, He's going to fix me. He's going to correct me. He's going to keep me by myself long enough that when I do get in a relationship, it's going to be right. This time it's going to be right. You hear that renewed spirit coming out of me? Yes, this time I'm going to find somebody that makes difference. And I'm going to tell you one of the greatest antidotes to being hurt. The greatest antidote to being hurt is companionship. Stop looking for love. Find a friend. Find a confidant. Find somebody you can go out and have just as good a time and they not be in love with you as you did with somebody who was in love with you. Find companionship in people. Don't look for connection. Don't look to control them. Don't look to be their spouse, significant other, their boyfriend or girlfriend. Love them without attachment. Unconditionally. And you may even know that those people might have other things going on in their world. But all you're going to do is receive them for the piece of them that you perhaps love, you perhaps like. The piece of them that might be able to satisfy you on a Friday evening. Right? You're not going to expect any more. Stop expecting everything. Because with most people, you're not going to get most of it. It's just the way the world works. There's always going to be some boxes unchecked. And if those boxes unchecked are not for you, turn away. But sometimes those boxes unchecked might cause you to just need to change, need to be a little more patient. You know, I'm all over here, all over the place because there's so many things that's just going through my mind. But the point here is that I want you to get a clear vision and understanding from the Lord about what relationship should be to you. And ask Him for love again. Ask Him for trust again. Any commentary for my counterparts?
If you touch on that, we have to understand that God is love and that first relationship needs to be with you and God.
Ooh.
And to be intimate with Him. I think that's our reflection on how we are with ourselves and with other people.
Yes.
So if we're not consistent with God and we use Him and we do whatever we do, that's how we're going to treat other people.
Man, let me tell you, I had a buddy of mine say to me that it was Jay. Jay basically said that a relationship with two people is not natural. A long-term, lifetime relationship is not natural. And if you do not have God in the midst of your relationship, it is bound to go awry.
I said
He's like a mirror.
Yes.
But we're looking to be in His image and not our own.
Yes.
And we have to die to ourselves. And we just have to be a little bit more intentional. I mean, be intentional about everything. Like, if we're in a relationship, it should be, if I do this to this person, how is she going to feel? Like, we should be a little bit more compassionate. We don't have any empathy. We lack compassion, and we just feel like they'll get over it. And we don't understand the damage that we are actually doing, you know, to one another that leads to brokenness. And a lot of times, it's not the blame that somebody else, you know, broke me, but it's more so that I didn't stick up for myself, or I allowed and tolerated certain things to go on because I didn't have the courage, or I didn't have the strength, the audacity, or just the self-love to break myself free before I even got into this.
Yeah,
because we can see the red flags before we end up in doom.
We can see red flags early in the game. And, well, and I tell you what, you really need to begin taking those red flags to the Lord.
Period.
Right? I think that's a process for managing a relationship. Every time you see something that's a little concerning to you, take it to the Lord. Ask him to ease your spirit, or ask him to push it away from you. But but you got to deal with it, right? Because if you're not dealing with it, then you're just tolerating it, and ultimately it's gonna get under your skin. That's gonna blow things away, right? Can a broken person ever truly love and trust again? Absolutely, right? Absolutely. But it's gonna require some strength on the inside. It's gonna require some change on the outside. It's going to require some different understandings about yourself and about your life, but absolutely you can find love again. And for those of you who are broken and you are down on relationships, don't be. There is somebody for you. What you got to always understand is that most times it's for a reason and a season. And you got to accept that there's a timeliness to everything. There's a timeliness to every relationship. And when it changes, it's not always a bad thing. You know? Garner what you received from that other person, what you got out of that, what you learned about yourself, what you're going to do differently the next time. You know, let's not be broken for years over something that was always supposed to be temporary.
Not that.
Yes, yes. And I tell you what, there's just something to be said. I always wanted to say this in the show. There's something to just be said for letting go and just being like, what the hell? Let me just give it a shot. Let me just see what happens. I'm not going to get hurt, but I am going to participate. If there's some love to be had here, I'm going to get it all, and I'm going to make an effort, and I'm going to try, and this is just the way my life is going to work.
I've done that.
Well, haven't we all?
I have done that.
Haven't we all?
And let me tell you, we're never wrong with it.
Yeah. Any closing
We're
remarks?
not quite now.
You crazy. Any closing remarks from you, Ms. Kitty?
Be sure to check out 100 Sheets at KingSheets.com to learn about self-love, hope, entrepreneurship, anxiety, transformation, and success.
Woo!
With a breakdown like that,
So
go
powerful.
there.
Any words from you, Jay?
This one right here was a real touchy one, and I like to say right now, I feel like it's just overwhelmed me that some people might have a lot of difficulty even digesting what we say. Is not to judge you. Brokenness is something that most people never want to face. They don't even know how to. I might not have did the greatest job to even let you know you're broken, but please understand self-evaluation will help you. I know you don't want to do it, but it's something that's necessary, not only just in your job, it's within your health and your well-being. Reason I say that, you quickly do it for your job, but you won't do it for you.
Yeah.
And I want the best for you, just like the job getting the best from you. But you will never give your best until you become whole. Get back to God's child. Get back to your holiness to realize there's a lot of failures within you that you can seriously fix. But you have to make the effort. And it all goes back to start. Let's start doing something different, doing something better, and then you will start achieving a better for you.
Yeah, greatness is in my ability to hold myself accountable.
Wait a minute, one more time.
Greatness lies within my ability to hold myself accountable, right? And sometimes that accountability is setting boundaries. Sometimes that accountability is going for it when you know you might not be ready for it, but you're going to have faith that it's going to come and you're going to go for it. But you got to have self-accountability. And I think that's what this show really comes down to in the end. This has been a fantastic show, and I just want to thank my team. Again, my name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. We got Kenya in the building, and this has been Bar Talk with Jay. We want to thank you folks for being with us tonight. We are here every Thursday from 7 to 9, Facebook Live, and we've been here for the last 5 years, almost 5 years. We're going to be celebrating our anniversary September 17th.
Yes.
Our 5th anniversary, and we'll be traveling this year, so we're hoping to bring the show to you from a live remote scene, and just, you folks can celebrate with us. And so we just, again, thank you so much. We hope you have enjoyed this show, and we love you. We appreciate you. And with that, folks, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.